Hey, this is 1.5 if you are labeling the sections, 1.5 on parallel and perpendicular lines. I want you to be able to write an equation of a line that's parallel to another line and write an equation that's perpendicular to another. Remember, the thing to remember here is that parallel lines have the same slope. They have different y-intercepts, but they have the same slope. Perpendicular lines have slopes that are opposite reciprocals. And that should make sense because for parallel lines, we want them to go in the same direction and never touch. If they are perpendicular, perpendicular means they meet at a 90-degree angle. So their slopes are opposite and reciprocals. So opposite means the sign changes from plus to minus or minus to plus. Reciprocal means that you flip your fraction upside down so that it's opposite of what it was. So let's do some examples. Again, if you feel good, maybe skip some. If you don't feel good about it, we're going to find the equation of a line parallel to this line here and goes through this point. So first thing I want you to do is when you're writing this down, you write down, maybe highlight parallel and make a note to yourself. Same slope. And now we want to identify what is the slope. Slope of this line is 3. Okay, at this point, this is where everybody gets confused. You can just forget about the rest of this equation. Look at, I'm even going to scribble it off. The only thing that matters to me in this equation is that number 3, because now I have my slope and I want to use this point. I don't care about the rest of that equation. I'm going to use this formula. Okay, I have y, my y1 is 6, my slope is 3, and my x is 2. Now, if it doesn't say what type of formula to use, you can leave it like this. If it says it needs to be in slope-intercept, or you just want to practice your good algebra, you're going to do this. And you can see that this is the equation of my line that is parallel to this one up here that I scribbled out and also goes through this point. So parallel to this through this point. Okay, find the equation of a line that is perpendicular. Again, I want you to highlight, circle, star, somehow perpendicular. Make yourself a note that it is the opposite reciprocal of the line. And when I typed this, I didn't do a good job. You would think of this like this, x over 4 minus 9, and goes through the point 2, 10. Again, I need you to identify the slope. The tricky part about this is that this really means 1/4 times x. So my slope is 1/4. Okay, not x over 4, just 1/4. And again, I'm going to kind of get rid of the rest of this. I don't care about the rest of this. I only care about the slope. Now I'm going to think to myself, what is the opposite reciprocal of 1/4? So opposite means I make it negative because this one's positive, and then I flip my fraction. This really just equals -4. So when I go to build my equation, I'm going to use the y minus y1. My y is 10. My new slope for my perpendicular line is -4, and then I'm going to do x minus 2. Okay, I'm going to simplify because I like doing algebra. So I get y equals -4x plus 18. Okay, this is perpendicular to this line and goes through this point. When these are in standard position, we need to do a little bit different work. It's about the same, but there's a couple more steps. So again, circle, square, highlight something, parallel means that the slopes are the same. Okay, write that down every time. I need to find the slope, but to find the slope, I need to put this in my my slope-intercept formula, so I'm going to have to do a little bit of algebra. So to start, I'm going to move the 2x over because I want it in y equals. So I get 3y equals negative 2x plus 12. Then I'm going to divide everything by 3. Don't forget to divide everything by 3. So y equals negative 2/3 x plus 4. So my slope is negative 2/3. Now I can forget about this. Okay, I don't need it anymore. All I need is the slope, and then I need my point. So I'm going to use my y1 equals m, which is negative 2/3. Okay. Fractions, we're not scared of them anymore because we are in pre-calc. And then I'm going to add 3. And when I add 3 to this side, I'm going to add 9/3. So I'm going to get y equals negative 2/3 x plus 17/3. You have to feel comfortable with fractions because you're in pre-calc and you can't be scared of fractions anymore. Another one, same example, except for this time perpendicular. You're going to circle square, highlight star. Remember that it's opposite, reciprocal. First thing to do is to find the slope. So I'm going to subtract 3x from both sides here. And then I'm going to divide everything by negative 4. Everything by negative 4. So here I have y equals negative divided by negative is a positive. Okay, so be careful of those little things. This is my slope. My perpendicular slope then, remember this is the symbol for perpendicular, is going to be opposite, make it negative, reciprocal, flip it upside down. Now I can forget about everything else. I don't need this equation anymore. I need my point and my slope. So y minus y1 equals m x minus x1. Ooh, these fractions are going to be a little trickier. Plus 20/3. And I'm going to add 2 to both sides. And when I add it over here, I'm going to change it into thirds. So I'm going to make it 6/3. So I get negative 4/3 x plus 26/3.